Let's talk about the soul of the role and what that means. In the conversations that we've had with leaders and managers over the years, if we ask them, what are the jobs that this person has? What are the tasks that they're responsible for? What are the goals that they have? What are the decisions that they can make? They can generally answer those questions. And you could probably answer most of those questions fairly well for the people on your team. Where you're probably going to struggle, if you're like most leaders, is if I were to ask you to talk about what is it that you worry about that you think that person should worry about, or the person in that role should worry about. What are the interventions that you tend to make in a meeting or on an email thread that are the things that you're currently holding or worrying about that you want them to hold and own and worry about? So it's all that other stuff, all the context, all the meta, all of the subtle things that you think about, the conversations that you have with your manager about the person in that role, the conversation that you have with friends and loved ones, with your frustrations and your concerns, and why can't I get that person to think that way or operate this way or see things that way? That's the soul of the role. The soul of the role is the heart of that process, and where you have these conversations to pull out those things and those elements. And what we want you to do is to bring those out into the open, to have those conversations, both for the benefit of your direct report and for the benefit of your own headspace, and finding the creative and strategic space to do the work that's essential to your role. Here's what we recommend to all of our clients. You should go through the soul of the role process quarterly with each of the roles that report to you. By maintaining that quarterly consistency, you'll also create a great conversation starter for your one-on-ones that happen weekly or bi-weekly. The second time to use soul of the role is when there's somebody new on your team. That's a great way to get them started, feeling good about themselves, feeling like they're clear about what winning looks like in that role. Another great place to use the soul of the role is when someone's role changes, when they take on a new responsibility or something shifts materially on their role. And lastly, the soul of the role is there for you when someone's feeling confused. When you find yourself in conversations with a direct report, you know when this happens, when somebody just feels like they're struggling, they're flailing around and they don't really feel clear. Even if you did the soul of the role process a month ago, revisit it, go back to it, be willing to be vulnerable with that person and say, hey, maybe we didn't get it right on soul of the role. Let's go back and have a few more of those conversations. They'll benefit, they'll re-engage, and you'll get the results you're looking for. So what you see is that it's really a win-win-win when you have the soul of the role going for you and you achieve that state of good alignment with your team. First of all, you win because you get headspace, you get freed up from a lot of those interventions, some big, some small. Your team wins because they get an ownership opportunity and an opportunity for development and growth that wasn't there before. It was buried because you were filling in the gaps more than you needed to or more than you should. So the third win is your manager and the broader organization gets a better version of you. So you benefit, your team benefits, and the organization benefits, all from having the soul of the role conversation. Where we're going to go next is the 3-step process to find the soul of the role with each of your direct reports. The first step, to define what is the soul of that role. The second step, to align and have conversations with them to come to an agreement about what they're going to own and be accountable for that's different than where it was before. And third, to sustain. We're going to show you how to have the ongoing conversations you need to maintain and deepen and probably refine the soul of the role with that person over time.